Tonight, a special edition of Inside Drag Racing as we pay tribute to men who have shaped the world of drag racing. Hi, everybody. I'm Doc Riley, and welcome to the Mopar International Drag Racing Hall of Fame induction ceremony for 2007. Tonight, 10 people will be inducted into the hall, and one person will receive a Founders Award. Let's get right to the action. At the podium, Kenny Bernstein.
The fans. Can't say enough about what it means and how far it's gone and what it's grown to, and the fans and what they do for us. How nice they've been to me on this return back. I really worried about that. I worried that I would offend some people, that I just didn't leave to come back. I missed it. I missed that driving. I missed that competition. I missed that challenge that was there. That's what drives me all the time. And they've been so gracious to understand that. It's been wonderful. So I thank them for everything that they've brought back to me and invigoration that they've given me every weekend by saying, we're glad you're back. But thank you so very much. Enjoy your evening. Congratulations to all the inductees and the past ones. They all deserve it. Thank you so very, very much.
Big Daddy Don Garlitz is standing by at the Museum of Drag Racing in Ocala, Florida, and he's got information on our next inductee, Mr. Frank Bradley.
Our next inductee, Frank Bradley, better known as the Beard, hails from Napa, California, and he was one of the fiercest competitors in the American Hot Rod Association World Championship Series of anybody I've ever known. And I'll tell you, when you raced Frank Bradley, you had to put it on the wood and you had to let it all hang out. And he was fierce. And he was good on innovation too. He was always coming up with some trick ideas for Top Fuel dragsters. We used to go over to his pitch and watch Frank very closely. So he's been around a long time, and he's a very deserving inductee into the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame.
I'd like to thank Don Gartlitz for paying for my motel rooms and my airplane tickets and everything out here. I really appreciate that, Don. Thank you. Yeah, it's on your credit card, too. I'd also like to acknowledge the people that helped me in my drag racing career. I've been asked over the years if you're ever afraid. Well, the only thing I was ever afraid of is having to go back to work someday, which didn't happen, thank God.
The ARP Quarter Mile Quiz with Butch McCall offers you a chance to win a Quarter Mile Quiz sweatshirt while testing your knowledge of drag racing. Brought to you by ARP, the world leader in racing fastener technology.
Quarter Mile Quiz. Well, with me is Hillary Will, NHRA Top Fuel driver. I wonder if you'd help me with this week's ARP Quarter Mile Quiz question. It came in to us from Monty Harris of Fairborn, Ohio, and he said he wants to know how you get hooked up with an NHRA Top Fuel team as a driver. He's going to school now to learn to drive Top Fuel, but so tell us, how did you get your ride?
There's not one set way to do it, but I graduated college and then started a top alcohol dragster team with my family, and we worked really hard. I basically dedicated my life to it. I did my own PR work, and we started winning a lot, and I did whatever I could to get our team name out there because I was trying to get sponsors. And with anything, it has a lot to do. You want to know as many people as possible, and thankfully for me, Ken Black was putting together a Top Fuel team and Coletta Motorsports, and they heard about me because I was getting our name out there, and we were, I tried to be the best driver I could be, and we were successful, and they asked me to drive their Top Fuel dragster, and fortunately, here I am.
Now, you went to school also to learn to drive?
Oh, I did. I went to the Frank Hawley Top Alcohol Dragster School, and that was very helpful also. I saved up for a couple years for it, and it's the best money I ever spent.
Well, Monty, sounds like you're doing it right. Go learn to drive, and then go out and make a name for yourself.
Do you have a question for our ARP Quarter Mile Quiz Master? We'll send it to the address you see on the screen, and you might be lucky enough to win an ARP Quarter Mile Quiz sweatshirt. Inside Drag Racing is brought to you by Summit Racing Equipment, the World Speed Shop. By ARP, the world leader in racing fastener technology. And by Duplicolor, the leader in automotive paints, primers, and coatings. Yes, you can with Duplicolor.
There are lots of ways to measure performance. But when it comes to performance parts, one company sets the standard: Summit Racing Equipment. Summit Racing offers the largest selection of in-stock parts, #1 rated customer service and expert tech advice, fast free delivery, and the lowest prices in high-performance parts. Get your free catalog at summitracing.com and let Summit Racing help you maximize performance, no matter how you measure it.
ARP, the world leader in fastener technology, the fasteners of champions.
And ARP works, so why look anywhere else?
The only reason we use ARP is because we can't have failures. I swear by ARP. I've always used ARP products. They're the best. In my opinion, they're the best fasteners out there.
If you want to be the best, you got to have the best. ARP is the best.
ARP fasteners are the only fasteners to use.
All my fasteners are ARP. If you want good product, go to ARP.
ARP, the world leader in fastener technology.
Expensive custom frames and costly protective laminates? Not anymore. Now create temporary graphics or get temporary protection with Duplicolor's hot new Car Art and Shield. With Car Art, add flames, scallops, or street graphics for the weekend. And with Shield, protect your vehicle's trouble areas from bugs, rocks, and road grime. Car Art and Shield are easy to use, dry in less than a minute, and with a simple wash, leave no residue. Start creating and protecting today with Duplicolor's Car Art and Shield. Go to duplicolor.com to find the retailer nearest you.
Welcome back to the Mopar International Drag Racing Hall of Fame induction ceremony. The camera behind me, well, it kind of symbolizes the next person that's getting inducted into the Great Hall. This person has been a drag racer, a sanctioning body owner, and the executive producer of Inside Drag Racing. With great pleasure, we send it to the podium and Mr. Ted Jones.
I have to thank my daughters, Holly and Linda Faye, and I'll tell you why. Because I was always at a drag race every weekend, whether it was as a track operator or whether it was with the sanctioning body or shooting TV. There's a lot of things I didn't get to do with my daughters, and they never, ever complained. You could see the influence was there. They found out if they wanted to spend some time with Dad, they had to go to the drag races, so they did. And you could see it because, for instance, when Holly's little friends came over and said, and she's just a little girl, you know, let's watch a movie, let's watch Cinderella. She said, no, let's watch Heart Like a Wheel. Again. The child wore out 3 videos of that movie. And my oldest daughter, Linda Faye, when the kids would come over and they want to talk about Barbie doll collections, and let me show you my spark plug collection. She had a spark plug collection. This one came from Big Daddy's car. This one came from TV Tommy's car. This one came from the Grumps car. It was absolutely amazing. Fast forward 30 years, this same child that had a spark plug collection is now a special judge in Common Pleas Court presiding in Nashville, Tennessee. And there's 2 guys arguing over an engine. And the guy says, Your Honor, in order for you to understand the problem with this engine, it's going to be necessary for me to explain to you how a camshaft functions and what it does in an engine. She looked at him and she said, that won't be necessary. I know exactly what a camshaft does. I was raised at a drag strip. And I'm back there in the back of the courtroom going, you tell him, Judge. You didn't learn that at law school.
Our next inductee, Jim McClellan, had a great and storied history as a driver and as a drag strip owner. In 1957, Jim opened the doors to Champion Speed Shop in San Francisco. That's also the home of the first dragsters that he built, the Champion Speed Shop blown small block Chevrolet-powered top fuel dragsters. Jim was one of the very first racers to wear a fire suit. Not content to be a speed shop owner or racer, he also opened Half Moon Bay Drag Strip.
You know, in preparing for this, it's tough. I mean, when you lose your dad, and but there's a part of him that will always be with us, and there was a part of him that he just loved drag racing. You know, towards the end, I mean, you talk to him and his eyes would light up just at the mention of, you know, how we did at the track and how are people doing and so forth. He would want to thank Don Garlitz and Pat for everything that they've done for drag racing and for the McLennan family in promoting drag racing in Northern California. I don't think Don ever said no to Dad with the famous Scarlets versus Prudhomme Little Red Wagon events at Half Moon Bay and Fremont. Don, thank you. Thank you for being a part of our family. Thank you for everything that you've done for all of us.
Our next inductee is Davey O'Hara. He is a chassis builder supreme. And I guess what you have to say is, how good a person is whether you would use his product. Well, in 1981, I was not running the AHRA circuit because I didn't have a reverser in Swamp Rat 26. Well, I decided that I wanted to run the Winter Nationals, so I went down to Davey O'Hara's shop in Northern California, and he put the back half on Swamp Rat 26 so that I could put a reverser in the car and run the NHRA circuit. That was the last time we ever had to back half the car because, let me tell you, Davey built one fine rear half of car. It was strong, and it did a good job. A wonderful, likable guy, still building cars to this day, Davey O'Hara, a very deserving inductee.
It doesn't take just one person to make this whole thing happen. There are my friends and family that stuck by me, my employees that have made me what I am today. You don't do it all alone. It takes all those people to make it happen. And I want to thank my daughter, Christina, who's here tonight, came all the way back here for me. She stuck with me all these years. I have not been the best father figure in her life, but she's still with me, and I really thank her for being here. Thank Don Gartlitz for this event. I mean, it couldn't happen without Don, I don't think. And the whole Hall of Fame, International Hall of Fame, it's a great honor to be here. And I thank you.
The NHRA Sportsman Spotlight with Bob Fry, featuring a closer look at NHRA sportsman drag racers and their racing activities at different drag strips across the nation. Brought to you by Duplicolor, the leader in automotive paints, primers, and coatings.
One of the intriguing stories in the Alcohol Funny Car pit area this year centers around Marty Nothstein. Marty's driving the Parker family team car sponsored by Texas Roadhouse. Nobody loves the outdoors more than this guy, an Olympic gold medal cyclist. And you tell me everybody out here is just tickled to death that the drag racing's on the Outdoor Channel because you guys love it. And everybody here is a big outdoors fan, huh?
Oh yeah, we got a crew full of outdoorsmen, myself included. I'm a big archery hunter. I love going out west every year and chasing deer and ducks. And if I'm not spending time thinking about drag racing or in my prior career racing bicycles, I was always outside hunting and fishing.
Of course, now you're going to spend this weekend chasing like Frank Manzo and Bob Newberry, but you got a great team here.
You know what? There's some pretty big fish to catch right there, you know, but we're going to do our best on our end. You know, we got a great team behind me, and I'm just going to do my job as a driver. And, you know, we're sneaking up on them. We won in Bradenton, and we look forward to the rest of the year.
Tell us what it's like to be with this team because they really have the best of everything.
They really do have the best of everything, and one thing they really have, which is superior than most of the other teams out here, is a great attitude, you know, and with a good attitude and good equipment, you know, good things happen. So again, I couldn't be more excited about the season.
Olympic gold medalist, alcohol funny car racer, avid outdoorsman. Next time we get a chance to talk to him, we'll talk to him about the one that got away. Had to be at least one that got away.
welcome back to Gainesville, Florida, the Mopar International Drag Racing Hall of Fame induction ceremony. One man has had great success both as a driver and as a team owner, and he continues to add to those numbers. They call him the Shoe. It is Don Schumacher.
It's like a drug. I mean, you get it in your system and you can't get away from it. Well, Tony got me back in it. We put together a sponsorship with Exide. It's now going on to the U.S. Army and all of my other sponsors. And Tony's done a tremendous, tremendous job. He's one of the best speakers in the sport, presents himself the best.